The EU has reached a consensus on the price at which to cap Russian oil, a key milestone in the West's efforts to punish Moscow for the Ukraine invasion. New before and after satellite images show the extent of the destruction of the Russian-occupied city of Mariupol in southern Ukraine. The European Union has reached a consensus on the price at which to cap Russian oil. The bloc's 27 member states agreed on Friday to set the cap at $60 a barrel. Its aim is to stop Moscow profiting from oil exports while avoiding a price spike.
This price cap has three objectives. First, it strengthens the effect of our sanction. Second, it will further diminish Russia's revenues. And thirdly, at the same time, it will stabilize global energy markets because it allows some Russian seaborne oil to be traded, brokered, transported by EU operators to third countries, as long as it is sold below the cap.
The price cap is to be enforced by companies that provide shipping, insurance and other services for Russian oil. Most of these are based in Europe and the UK. New satellite imagery shows construction, demolition and destroyed buildings in the Russian-occupied city of Mariupol in southern Ukraine. Before and after images taken on March 29th and November 30th show a large protective screen around Mariupol's main theater, which was shelled while being used as a civilian shelter in March. The city's main cemetery has also had a significant expansion of the number of graves. Across the city, dozens of apartment buildings that had been destroyed or damaged are now being demolished. A new Russian military compound has also been built.
The White House on Friday put the infamous Russian paramilitary group Wagner on a list of religious freedom violators. State Department spokesman Ned Price says the United States is searching for as many ways to hold Russia to account as possible for its brutal war in Ukraine. Secretary of State Antony Blinken also added that the move was in the interest of national security. The Wagner Group is accused by Western countries and UN experts of numerous human rights abuses throughout Africa, including in the Central African Republic, Libya and Mali.
A once pristine beach, now covered in plastic waste. For the first time, a group of around 2,000 experts have met with the aim of drafting a landmark treaty to end plastic pollution globally. It was just the first of 5 meetings, but factions among the attendees have already come into view.
There's a lot to unpack here. We must eliminate and substitute problematic and unnecessary plastic items, ensure that plastic products are designed to be reusable, recyclable, compostable where possible, ensure that plastic products are circulated in practice, not just in theory and on paper, manage plastics that cannot be reused, and make sure that we talk about reduction on alternatives throughout the production chain.
The European Union has also begun negotiations for legislation that could reduce plastic waste in the bloc by 10% by 2035.
The Chinese government is beginning to ease its testing requirements and quarantine rules in some cities a few days after rare protests erupted across the country. Last week, demonstrations broke out across 20 cities over the country's strict zero-COVID policy. The policy aims to isolate every infected person, and as a result, millions of Chinese have been confined to their homes, and the strategy has had economic ramifications, including impacting global supply chains. French President Emmanuel Macron visited New Orleans to promote the French language and conclude his state visit to the U.S. Once a French colonial city, New Orleans was sold to the United States by Napoleon in 1803, and Macron called it the quintessential Francophone land. The French president will promote an initiative to broaden access to French language for American students with a focus on more disadvantaged groups. He will also meet with businesses devoted to energy and climate issues.